I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're diving into the evocative world of poetry with Sierra Leone Dixon. She has written an incredible book. It is called Childhood and Blueberry Muffins. Her collection captures the essence of life's journey, urging us to embrace the challenges and the beauty of taking risks. Her masterful use of language crafts vivid metaphors and similes that resonate deeply, making each poem a gateway to personal discovery and resilience. We're delighted to have this very talented author and poet join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Good River Print and Media for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Sierra, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
You know, they say you can't judge a book by its cover or you can't judge a book by its title, but this title's terrific, Childhood and Blueberry Muffins. They both capture, a lot of my imagination. One of my favorite things is to go to Maine and find a bakery and get a hot blueberry muffin. Tell us a little bit about why you entitled it that.
Well, I was talking with my children, and they were reminiscing about their childhood. And my youngest daughter said to me, "Oh, Mom, I remember when you used to make blueberry muffins." And I thought back. I said, while they were growing up, you could smell the blueberry muffins all through the house, and sometimes I would surprise them as they would get up in the morning, and I would have the blueberry muffins for them. And so I said, "You're right. I don't know why I stopped making them." I said, "But you know what? That'd be a great title for my book," because I've always written poetry in their life. And I said, "Thank you for naming my book." So I came up with Childhood and Blueberry Muffins from my daughter's nostalgia about her childhood.
Well, that's a great memory. I can smell those muffins now. You're making me hungry. That's for sure, because it's a great treat, homemade blueberry muffins, that's for sure. Tell us about writing this book. Is this a collection of poems you've written over the years?
It is a collection of poems I've written over the years. I've always had the ability to write poetry without great effort. And what I would do is I would collect what I write. And I just thought, one of these days I'm going to turn this into a book.
Mhm.
And one of these days actually came.
Yeah.
And now I do have a book. And I have such a large volume of poetry waiting to be published still yet,
Right.
believe it or not, because I try to collect everything I write. And some of the things um get away from me, but I have most of everything that I write. And I even have a box that I haven't opened yet that has followed me from house to house as I have moved in my adult life. But those are college
Yeah.
beginnings.
Well, that's great. I'm sure that box is really a treasure chest, and I'm sure
Yes, it
there's lots of
is.
great memories and emotions. And whether you share it with family, friends, or with the world, like you have in this book, I think that'll be a great gift that you give people. When you were putting together this book, obviously you were choosing among, hundreds of poems. What was it like choosing the ones you decided to keep and the others ones you said, maybe I'll save for another book?
Well, actually, what happened with this particular book is I had already turned it into a book. I went to Kinko's at the time, it was called Kinko's,
Yeah.
and I had them put it into uh, a spiral
Hmm.
binder. And that was my pre before the real.
Right.
And I tested it on a lot of family and friends, and they said, "Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it." And so that's how those particular poems ended up in that book. So as I finish a series of 40 or 50 poems, they go in a file,
Mm.
and that file gets titled with a book, with a
Mm.
book title of an upcoming book for when I do decide to publish.
Wonderful. That's smart to keep organized like that. I love the story about Kinko's. It sounds very like early millennium now or 90s. I remember doing the same. I had published a book and went to the local publishing shop and got it bound there and that kind of stuff. The things we did before the digital age were quite amazing and quite touching as well to share a book like that with your closest
Uh,
friends and family members.
no. Okay.
People are distracting you there. Sorry about that.
I'm sorry. No, I have a dog and I'm just hoping she's not going to decide to
Well,
take over the interview.
well, if your dog decides to come in and crash the interview, that's fine. I'm a big dog lover, so that's fine. Don't worry about it at all, okay?
All
Let
right.
me ask you this. Is there a favorite, a poem you have in the collection that you've published here?
I do have a favorite. It's I do have a favorite. I just can't. I will share it with you
Sure.
once. Actually, it's the last poem that's
Mhm.
in the book, and that's Sunday mornings, because it is so reminiscent of my childhood, of
Mm.
everything that my children have also experienced that I wanted to be in their childhood. And it's called Sunday Mornings. And I just remember growing up with Mahalia Jackson singing in the background her
Mm.
gospel music, and us having our breakfast and, you know, family.
Mm.
That's what it's really all about. It's about family. And so as we are listening to Mahalia Jackson and growing up, it just gave me a lot of the seeds for my creativity as a poet.
Absolutely. Music has that effect for sure. And that those strong memories of Sunday morning. I remember for us, it was getting up early, getting dressed. We had a fast before church. We'd go to church and then we break our fast by having a donut at a next door donut shop. And then maybe in the summer, mom would make a nice breakfast or something like that. These are great memories. And I think they're a common experience for most families, particularly growing up in the era where we did, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have that poem? Could you read it to us?
I do have that poem. I
I would
can
love to
read it
hear
to
it.
you. Yes. So this poem is entitled Sunday Mornings. Sunday mornings and blueberry muffins with butter dripping down the side, a time of childhood and serenity as baking odors spilled forth from the kitchen, Mahalia reminding us to study war no more. Gospel tunes and traditions anointed every crack and corner of our home with God's peace down through the years. Grandma's smiles always reminded, reassured that family is forever. Time claims those good old days that we fondly cherish as children grow up and graduations rewrite a new story. There's a sting that never leaves as our parents move on to their heavenly realm, but the legacy they left of the love they lived will never die.
Beautiful. That's really wonderful. It does capture the essence of Sunday for me. I wish Sundays were still like that. I wish things were still all closed on Sunday, that the only traffic you saw were people going to church and coming home from church and those wonderful homemade breakfasts. I can almost taste that blueberry muffin dripping with butter that you described. It sounds delicious. Really, really nice. Are you planning on releasing your next book of poetry? Tell us a little bit about your writing career.
Okay, well, I started out writing poems that would end up in various anthologies.
Hmm.
Okay, and I've also written poems in the various high school magazines that were produced where I worked. Uh, Basically, the magazine is to showcase the students' poetry.
Mm,
So, therefore, I do not monopolize. I just submit one and let it go at one.
yeah.
Because again, the focus is for the students, but I have appeared, my poetry has appeared in various student magazines of the different high schools where I have worked.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's great. And we're glad this book is out there, and we're glad you're still writing and keeping everyone happy with your poems. This book is called Childhood and Blueberry Muffins. It is an amazing collection of poems that will just touch your heart. It'll bring you back to another time. It'll help you along life's journey and help you recall some of the great paths that you've taken along the way. Sierra, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you again for having me. It's been a pleasure to meet with you today.
Pleasure's been all mine. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.